I'm Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hey guys, so I'm here today to do this video about what I personally consider to be reborn baby essentials. So, I've had a lot of people ask, like, I'm getting my first reborn. What do I need to get for my reborn? And I've always kind of said, well, really and truly, you don't need anything for reborn dolls. It's mostly what you want for your reborn dolls, depending on what type of collector you are. Because if you're the type that just displays your dolls only, or maybe like occasionally just changes their outfit, you really don't, everything else is basically just extras that you really don't need per se. And especially if you're not into role play, there's not much you really need for reborn dolls then. All the accessories, pacifier clips, bottles, toys, all those things are just extras. And, I would say some of those things are necessary if you're into role play, but if you're not, then they're not really necessary. But basically what I'm doing in this video is, for me, these are like the items that I use the most with my reborn dolls. And I'm not really, like, I will occasionally role play in some videos just because I like the creativity in doing that. It's like doing a skit almost to me. But other than those occasional role play videos, I don't really role play with my dolls. I will sometimes cuddle one when I'm watching TV, but mostly I just enjoy changing their outfits, and I do enjoy taking them out in public with me, but not to role play in public, just to have one with me for fun. And that's pretty much where I'm at. So I thought I would just share with you the items that I use the most with my reborns that I really, really love, and I highly recommend that. I would say almost regardless what type of collector you are, you could use these. So, right off the bat, let's start on the top of the pile. I have a hooded bath towel. And now I wouldn't say you really need it, but for me, this is one thing that I do use. Mostly if I'm doing a night routine in a video and I'm doing like a wipe down of a doll, I like to put them on a towel. Sometimes off camera I do like to do that as well. I like to put them on a towel and then just use a damp washcloth to kind of dust them all off, and that's a nice way to clean them. For the most part though, I have switched to using, and this is the other essential, I've switched to using water wipes to dust my reborns, and I don't often put them on towels anymore. I will usually just do it as I'm changing their outfit. So wherever I have them laying to change an outfit, I will just take a water wipe and just lightly wipe them down, dust them off. And because regular baby wipes I don't recommend using on the vinyl, because it has been known, depending on what chemicals are in your baby wipes, it has been known to sometimes fade paint or take paint off if the doll is not properly cured. I am not concerned about water wipes because they are 99.9% water and 0.1% fruit extract. So there's nothing in there that's going to do damage to your vinyl. And for me, this is just a real quick, easy way to give them a quick wipe down when I'm changing their outfit instead of going through the whole, you know, putting them on a bath towel, wetting a washcloth, that kind of thing. Now, if you're going the washcloth route, I'd suggest having more than one washcloth, and that way you can use one to wet and wipe them down and one to kind of like dry. Or you can use your towel to dry, either way. Sometimes what I'll do is just wrap them up in the towel and let them dry. It's whatever you prefer in that aspect. But I definitely would say, for me, these are a must-have item. Another thing that is a must-have item, I would say have one nice plush soft blanket, especially if you are the type that likes to hold and cuddle your reborns. It's nice to wrap them up in a nice snuggly blanket that's so nice and soft, and it feels so nice to hold and snuggle. It's just like a comfort factor. Also, it's nice if you're going out in public and you just want to, like, if you're running into a store real quick and you want to leave your baby in the car, you can just throw a nice thick blanket on top of them, and no one will even know. No one will see the doll, so no one will think, oh my gosh, someone's left a real baby in the car and break your window and all that stuff. I definitely think a plush blanket is definitely a must-have. I also suggest having a muslin blanket. These are really good. They're very light, and they're just nice to have if you're making a video or if you're displaying them. You can lay it over a pillow or a boppy or whatever, and it just creates kind of like a nice background. I love muslin blankets. They're so nice and soft. They're great for swaddling if you want to swaddle your baby. Really great. Love muslin blankets. So that is another must-have. Also, I would say definitely have white onesies for various reasons. One, I find, is especially if you have 3/4 limbs where the top part of the shoulder is cloth, you want to have that covered. So if you want those types of dolls to have like a sleeveless romper, you can just put a short sleeve white onesie underneath and then put your romper on top of it. And so it'll just look like you have a little shirt under there, almost kind of like an overall effect. You can also, I also suggest, if you're gonna go with the white onesies, if you have 3/4 length limbs, have short sleeves and also have long sleeves for the winter, because you can put those under rompers as well. And definitely if you have 1/4 limbs, you definitely want the long sleeves. If you have full-limbed babies, I also suggest getting white sleeveless onesies because, again, even though they're full-limbed and certain types of sleeveless rompers you can get away with just putting them on without a onesie underneath because some of them have the thicker strap. If you're looking for a thinner strap and it's still showing the cloth body, then you can throw a sleeveless white onesie under there and that will take care of the problem. So white onesies to me are a must-have item for dressing. The next must-have item in my opinion is a Boppy Pillow. 1, for doing videos on. 2, for just displaying your doll. It's nice. You can put it on a shelf, you can put it on a bed, you can put it on a couch and display your doll. You can even put it on the floor. Landon's Boppy Pillow has been on the floor since I got him, and that's where he is displayed. It's also really good if you're a person that has joint problems like I do, and so say you're having a bad flare-up with your joints and you want to hold your baby, but you're in too much pain to hold your baby. These are great because you can put them around your waist and just lay your baby across the front of the pillow. So you still kind of get to snuggle them, but you're not straining your joints to hold them. And so that's what I do sometimes if I feel like I'm in too much pain to hold my doll, but I still want to have that comfort of snuggling them. That's what I will use. Now getting into like kind of like the want items for a minute, I just suggest, like, when you have a reborn, have some place to display them. Obviously, the larger the collection, the more items you're going to need to display them. You're not going to want to just lay them on the floor. You're not going to, you know, I mean, yes, you can display them on shelves, and some people are fine with doing that. But again, if you don't have that, you're going to want some way to display them. Boppy pillows are one way. Bouncer chairs are another. Car seats are another way. Bassinets, crib, playpen, all those things are great ways to display your reborns realistically and also safely. So it's up to you which item you want to choose to display your dolls in, or doll. You know, obviously if you only have like 1 or 2 in your collection, you won't need as many. You may want 1 boppy pillow and 1 bouncy chair, or 1 car seat and 1 boppy pillow. Or there's also the boppy loungers, which don't have the hole in the middle. Those are really nice. But definitely something to display your reborn in that keeps them safe. Hi, buddy. Hi, Riley. Going to get food? You gonna go eat? Yeah? Okay. The next item, now this one again depends on the type of collector you are. It depends on if you are the type of collector to take your dolls out in public. I know not everyone is comfortable with doing that or wants to do that, and that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to take them out in public. That is entirely up to you whether you want to do that or not. Now, if you do want to take your reborn in public and you're comfortable with that, I will first off suggest a stroller, just because it makes things easier when you're shopping. Your hands are free. You have a nice basket under the stroller that if you make any purchases, you can throw them under there. So it's really nice to have one of those. And there's all different types of strollers you can choose from, obviously. I personally have a snap and go stroller. And I love that stroller so much because it has such a big basket underneath of it. Like, I just love it so much. I've actually even used my stroller without any baby in it and without any car seat in it. Just used the snap and go for the basket part to cart off packages to the post office. That's like a few minutes from us. It's like a 10-minute walk from here. So, I've done it sometimes where it's like, I'm just going to walk over to the post office, but I obviously can't carry all these boxes. So I'll just throw them in my snap and go and take them over. It's great for that. So I like it because you can just snap the car seat in. So it's not like you have to take the baby out of the car seat and put it into the stroller. And I personally would recommend having a car seat whether you take your dolls out in public or not. Even if you're just taking your reborn from your home to visit a friend at their home, I would highly suggest having a car seat, and to properly install that car seat for the reborn and have them properly strapped in just like you would a real baby, because it's for safety. You really shouldn't have your baby out of a car seat just like laying in the back seat, because if you were to get into an accident, it can become a projectile. And that goes for just about anything. Like, really and truly, you shouldn't have like any loose items on your seats. You should have everything on the floor of your car, because if you're in an accident, it can become a projectile. So especially with your Reborn, you would not want your Reborn to go flying out your windshield if you get into an accident. So I highly recommend having a car seat, even if you aren't taking them out into the mall, but are going like to visit someone with your Reborn, just for safety reasons. And so that's why, you know, either way, I would have a car seat, because I use it for displaying. I use it for going from one house to another. And now that I like to take my Reborns out in public, I can use my Snap and Go with that as well. So instead of having to take the doll out of the car seat and then put them into a stroller, I just take the whole car seat out and snap it in the Snap and Go, and I'm on my way. So that is really good. Now the other thing I would say is really good to have if you're going out in public, because this is another option. It's really good if you go to doll shows, because a lot of local doll shows, like when we go to the London Doll Show, they have very small aisles. And so it's really hard to maneuver around the showroom floor with a stroller, because there's so many people, and then you're blocking people, and then you're bumping into people, and it's a mess for everyone all around. Taking the strollers to not so much the big doll shows like Rose, because they tend to have a big showroom floor with lots of room for strollers, and they don't ban strollers. Little tiny local doll shows, most of the time you can't take strollers because there's just no room. Like now the London Doll Show that we go to has basically said, unless you're using the stroller for a real baby, they will not allow strollers in for Reborn dolls. You have to have a carrier. And this is by far my absolute favorite baby carrier in the whole entire world. And I will praise it till the day I die, or unless something better comes along. But this is the third carrier I've owned now, and I can honestly say I don't have any desire to look for a new one after this. I'm sold on this for good. It has to be the most comfortable baby carrier I have ever worn. It's so easy to put on. You put it on almost like a t-shirt over your head, and then all you have to do is put this part, where is it? This little belt thing goes around and buckles around your waist, and then you literally open these little clips. This part folds down, you put baby in there, you clip it back up, and you're ready to go. It is like the easiest thing to put on. It took me a couple of times using it before I really got it down, and now I'm just like so fast at putting it on, and it's so awesome. And it's like a t-shirt material. It's a t-shirt material. It's stretchy. The belt is the same material that goes around your waist. It is so comfortable. The shoulder straps are easy to adjust depending on the size of the baby. I can use this from my preemie size Reborn all the way up to my 3-month, 6-month size Reborns. And I mean, technically you could probably go even bigger than that, because the box shows that this carrier goes like, I forget how many months the baby could be, but it's quite up there. You can have them facing you, or you can have them facing out. It's very versatile. You can change the width of the seat at the bottom by pulling these out or bunching them in. I love this carrier, and it is by Infantino. And this one that I have here is their old version of it, which was a light gray. And it was called the Unison. And I remember I wanted to go and buy one for Paula one year for Christmas, and I couldn't find the Unison anymore. But when I Googled it, I found out that Infantino still sells this exact Same carrier, but now it's a dark gray. It comes in a dark gray instead of the light gray. And it's no longer called the Unison, it's called the Up Close. But it is exactly the same. It's identical. And you can find it at Walmart. Here in Canada, it's like 35 bucks. It's probably cheaper for you guys in the US. So it's a fantastic price, and it's a very versatile, comfortable carrier. I have worn this sometimes like for hours, or almost, actually, I think there was even one time I wore it for an entire day shopping at the mall, and I never once got back pain or shoulder pain. That's how comfortable it is. So Infantino, Up Close, or if you can find it secondhand, it would be the Unison carrier. To me, 100% my #1 favorite item. Now, the last item, or items, is if you have a doll that has rooted hair. This is only if you have a doll with rooted hair. I suggest you get either a very soft baby brush, a soft children's toothbrush, or McPherson's now carries these basically children's toothbrushes, but they're they're considered baby brush, Reborn baby brush. Very soft bristles. It's got this really nice wooden handle, and it says Reborn. It's by Reborn FX. And McPherson's carries these. And so definitely you want one of these. If you have a baby that has finer rooted mohair, I prefer the toothbrush for that over a big baby brush, just because you can define the style more with this because it's smaller. So you can put your finger in the middle of the swirl and kind of work the swirl around it. You can create like waves in the hair or hair patterns, that kind of stuff. And then you want to have some little misting bottles. One, I have just plain water in it. Hello, Riley. Coming to say hi? Where are you going? Where are you going? He's going behind my baby bouncer chair. What are you doing? Okay, so I have one spray bottle that's just water. And then this spray bottle, it's almost empty. I'll have to refill it soon. This has, what I did is I filled it halfway with a children's leave-in detangling spray or leave-in conditioner spray. It doesn't have to be children's, just any leave-in conditioner spray. I fill it halfway with that and halfway with water, and that way it makes your leave-in conditioner last longer, and it kind of dilutes it a little bit so you don't get buildup in the hair. And so I would say maybe like 2 or 3 times a year I'll use the conditioner if I notice that the mohair is getting a little dry or frizzy. I'll use that for that to give it a good condition. And then the rest of the time I will just spritz it very lightly with some water to fix any flyaway pieces or, you know, fix the hairstyle. And I think that's everything. To me, those are the major items that I get the most use out of with my Reborn dolls. And obviously outfits are just extra. Outfits are, you know, whatever you want. You can have as many or as little as you want. Yeah, you can have as little or as many as you want. That part to me isn't a necessity. If you're the type that just likes to display your dolls, you may only want one outfit, but I personally like to change up their outfits. That makes it fun for me. It keeps it interesting for me because to me, like to see a doll in the same outfit like forever and ever gets kind of boring. Although I do have some dolls in my collection, not Reborns, but like other types of dolls that I don't change. But that's just how I choose to do it with those, because I feel like those are kind of like more ornamental. And also, like, if I was to change every single type of doll in my collection, it's too much. It's too much work. So I mainly like to change my Reborn dolls and my American Girl dolls. Yeah, that's what I like to do. So pacifiers, to me, I personally don't use pacifiers very much. I have a lot of pacifiers, but I don't really use them much because I hate covering my baby's face. I like to see their mouth, especially if it's a sculpt that has a little grin or just a really nice sculpted mouth. I like to see that. But for realism, I don't mind having like a pacifier clip with a pacifier on it just as an accessory to the outfit, but not really for the doll to use and like put it on their mouth. Bottles, I have a lot of bottles. Most of the time I don't use them because I don't do many role play videos, but it is nice, you know, if you're the type to do role play, it is nice to have a bottle or two or many. Again, it's whatever you want. And things like little baby bracelets are kind of nice to accessorize outfits, or hair bows or hair bands, but again, not necessary, just what you want. And yeah, I guess that's it. And as for the blankets, again, you can have as many or as little as you want. I have a little bit of a blanket obsession, so I have probably more than I actually need or use, but it's nice to have the options there if I want to change them up. But overall, like I said, these right here, in my opinion, these things that I just showed you, I would say if you're just starting out, get one of each of these items and you're off to a good start. And like I said, definitely, even if you're not the type to take them out or change them a lot or role play with them, you still will want, if your baby's has rooted hair, you still definitely want something to maintain their hair and keep it conditioned. And you definitely want something to dust them with, because they will get dusty, especially if you have them displayed for prolonged periods of time without handling them. I find if you have a doll that you handle almost like daily or weekly, the dust doesn't pile up as much on those because you're moving them around more. But if you have dolls that are just laying around for like a month or more, they're going to get dusty and you're going to want to dust them. Which reminds me, there's one item that I forgot to pull out here. Q-tips. You will want Q-tips for dusting your doll's eyes, nose, and ears, and mouth if they have an open mouth. So Q-tips, you can dampen the end of a Q-tip and use that to clean in their eyes, gently around their eyelashes, inside their ears, inside their nostrils, and inside their mouth. Those are great little crevice dusting tools, so you definitely want those as well. Alright guys, well, I'm going to wrap up this video because I think I've covered just about everything. And like I said, these things that I showed you that are in this pile here, those are my must-have Reborn items. I highly recommend them. And I can't rave enough about my Infantino up-close carrier. It is literally the best carrier ever. I absolutely love it. I will rave about it to anyone that asks for my, recommendation on a carrier, because it is so comfy. It's like a t-shirt, guys. So definitely look into one of those. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys!